Hey everybody, my name is Suke. Welcome to Lead Guitar Workshop. Today I want to talk a quick idea about phrasing. What is phrasing and how's a simple way we can make use of it? Phrasing, to me, was always an elusive term. Was it bends, hammer-ons? Why do some people seem to have more phrasing, quote unquote, than others? It's really a musical thing, how you play your notes, really. Every instrument does it in different ways. We have a lot of techniques on the guitar, but what I want to talk about today is how we play our notes, like literally just the order in which we play our notes. So let's first start with a little listening example. So I'm thinking E minor pentatonic, just up here on pattern 1. And I just want to look at the first 4 notes. Right? I call those one of the boxes, not like the king box or anything, but just one of the pentatonic boxes that's easy to manipulate on the guitar. So if I started playing, again, I'm just playing the top 4 notes. This is the 15th and 12th frets on the E and the B string. And if I just started playing them, which one of these is the first note? Now you may be thinking the highest one, right? But if you actually go back and check the video, I actually started on the B string and then went to the E string. Well, what does that mean? Not much, right? Just once it starts going, it all sounds like it corrects itself, sort of. So what we're talking about is how our brain perceives the information and then how we play it as a musician. In this spot, this is where you can find phrasing. This is where one of the places, and this is a cool thing you can do with this. So if I take those first 4 notes again, I play them from the highest note. Right? We're kind of expecting to hear that. But there's 4 notes and I'm playing them high to low. Now what if I started on the second highest note and played the phrase? Oh, it's a little different, right? Let me play the first one. And let me start on the second highest note. So what changed is called the melodic curve. When I play the first 4 notes, it's all heading down, right? But if I start on the second highest note and play the same notes in the same order, oh, it goes down a few and then pops up. That's pretty cool. Let's start it on the third of the 4 notes. That has a different mood to it, right? Let me do that again. Versus the original high to low. Okay. Let me start with the lowest of the 4 notes. That one jumps up and then kind of comes down. So what does this all mean? You're playing this and you're like, man, at the end of the day, it's all the same 4 notes in the same order. Kind of. It's how we perceive it. If I started counting numbers 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you see how your brain immediately readjusted to the 1? That's our brain dealing with this as our musicianship is doing some work. If you know this kind of stuff, you can manipulate it and kind of influence when you start and stop your notes to make your phrasing. And this is so cool because there's nothing new to learn, right? This is not a new scale, not a new technique. It's I guess a musical technique, but it's just how we play our notes. So let's do this a little bit more specifically and in context. So I have a little loop I set up here. It's just a 4-bar progression of E minor, C, A minor to G. So let's check out that for a second. And here's A minor, and then G. All right, I'm gonna put a little overdrive on just so we hear the notes a little better. And let me play the original 4 ideas, and I'm just gonna play them as 8th notes. And again, for 8th notes, I just wanna lock into that gear first. All right, once it comes around, so I'll play those 4 notes high to low, and I'm just gonna repeat that box. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, that's it's on the nose. But it's a very good sound. It's not a bad thing. But let me try it now on the second highest note. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Let me try it on the third highest note, and they each have a different subtle sound. Ready? Here it comes back around again. 1, 2, 3, third highest note. Okay, now I'm gonna start on the lowest note. This one's kind of fun. It creates kind of like a little slingshotting effect with the notes. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty cool, right? So what I want to talk about now is how if you were moving this idea. So this just goes when you're about to start a solo or an idea or a lick, just give it a little opportunity to live in a little other spot, and it may help put a different emphasis on a different syllable, if you catch my drift. So let's go back, a little while back I put out a video called the Pentatonic Box Run. And it's a great way to practice connecting the 5 shapes on the top 2 strings using 4 notes of each of the 5 patterns. It basically followed this little pathway from pattern 1, so I put the volume up there, then pattern 5, pattern 4, pattern 3, pattern 2, and pattern 1 again in the open position. So now, let me see if I can add these alterations, these starting point changes, the phrasing idea, and move it down, and let's listen to each one. So let me put the tune back on here. So I'm gonna do the original one now. Again, still playing 8th notes. I get the gear going first. This is high to low. Ready? 3, 4. Remember, that's just a musical sequence, right? It's 4 notes descending through the scale is really what that is in a musical sense. But now let me try it with the second highest note. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. It sounds actually a lot different, doesn't it? Let me try it on the B string on the highest note, the third highest note. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That one has a kind of a very kind of side to side feeling to it. Now I'm going to start with the lowest of the 4 notes of each box. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. The cool thing about this is that it changes your perception of the notes, it changes the sound, just like a word, right? You put a different emphasis on a different accent and it changes the meaning of the word. And we're doing that. Now also, the consideration to think about is the connection of each of the boxes. We talked about the melodic curve, right? That's the steeps and the valleys of your notes. That's a big idea as a musician you should be thinking about. But when you do, let's say, the first original high to low, each one is kind of draping down. But if I do the, say, the second highest note, when it ends on that giant jump, it actually is going to make another big jump when it goes down to the next pattern. So it actually creates different spacings between the boxes depending how you phrase each individual box, right? So if I do that again, I did the big jump, then pattern 5, bigger jump, another jump. So it really takes out the linear angleness, I make up words, all the time of how these notes work. It's really fun to explore this idea. And to me, this is one of the first gateways into phrasing and how to make your notes sound better with the same notes you play every day. So I really encourage you to check this out, explore this, be patient with it, and you may find yourself having trouble playing some very familiar phrases just because of where you start in the phrase compared to where you usually, because we get into musical habits and musical ruts. The same with our fingers and hands, we do as musicians too. So often we put the highest note as the primary note on the beat or something, and when you move that around, so much can happen. Let's take one more thought into this about how we perceive the notes. So if I just out of the blue started playing 3 notes, this is A, B, C. My first question is to you, which one do you think is the first note? In this case, probably the lowest one. I did start there, but even if I start in the middle, your ear still kind of goes back to that note as the starting note. The other part of this that's really important is to think about for now is what rhythm is this? People hear, oh, I hear 1, 2, 3 notes. It must be a triplet. Doesn't have to be, right? This could be any rhythm. These could be quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They could be eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. They could be triplets, like, which is kind of, again, most obvious. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And I know I'm probably moving the tempo around a little bit, but I'm just fitting it in. And they could also be sixteenths, which that's one of my favorite ones. If you think 16th notes, right? So that's part of the phrasing too, is the rhythm thing. But the first part of today is just taking the same notes you have and rotating their starting position. I think you'll find a lot of brand new sounds and opportunities and ideas stemming out from this. So if you like this, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell here at Lead Guitar Workshop. Check out leadguitarworkshop.com. We do lessons, we have books, and we'll have a lot more stuff coming up this year. We're really happy about it. And as always, keep playing.